So today we're talking about something that is extremely important and downright crucial if you want to overcome and recover from anxiety 100%. We're talking about running from triggers that we shouldn't be running from. Not unhealthy triggers, things that are healthy, things that humans should be able to do, things that you would do if you were 100% recovered, okay? So keep that in mind. I'm not talking about drugs, alcohol, caffeine, tobacco, toxic environments, junk food, sugar, all that stuff. Anxiety can actually be a blessing in disguise and help us get rid of those bad habits because they are triggering. And, in the future, that can actually save us, right? It can add years onto our lives. So anxiety is not all bad. But today we're talking about things that you should be doing, things that, you deserve to do. We're talking about flying, public speaking, exercise, driving, social situations, gatherings, interviews, phone calls, going to the hospital, going to the doctor, commitments, leaving your home. These are things that you deserve as a human being to do, right? But we are avoiding them because they have caused us anxiety at some point, and then an association has developed, and we have continuously avoided those situations and we've labeled them as dangerous, and now our subconscious is like wired to that, right? It's going to give you symptoms, it's going to give you that panic when you go into that situation again, and that terrifies us, so we continuously avoid. And I had many of these things in my anxiety journey that I avoided. I'm going to cover a few of those, but I urge you guys to watch this whole video. When I make recovery videos, they probably do 30, 40%, sometimes 50% if I'm lucky, as well as the symptom videos or the negative videos about anxiety, right? Or the relation videos where I try to relate with people, or the reassurance, right? It's unfortunate because these videos, in my opinion, are the most important videos. So if you're watching this, please do yourself a favor and watch this to the end, because I promise you, your recovery will go from not possible to possible, and some of you, it's going to go to probable if you apply what I tell you in this video, all right? But you know what time it is. Smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. Leave me a comment. Today, I want you to let me know what you are avoiding. What are you avoiding due to your anxiety? Let us know down below. So I had many of these things that I would avoid. We're talking about exercise, heights, roller coasters, flying, things that I used to love to do. Social situations would start to make me anxious. A huge one that took me quite a bit of time to overcome was driving. Not seeking constant reassurance seemed to be a big one. Going to the hospital in the beginning was a big one. I was scared to go to the doctor, so that was something that I would avoid. Phone calls, interviews, public speaking, you name it. In the beginning, I only had a couple triggers, and the longer that you have anxiety, the triggers start to spread because we have anxiety in a lot of different situations. And now it's like, oh my God, I don't even want to leave the house, or oh my God, I got to stand in line and at the grocery store, and that's going to trigger me. Almost everything, it seemed, was a trigger. And what happens is, once we confirm the fear to our subconscious that this is a dangerous thing, that there's something wrong with this, and we do it long enough and we avoid long enough, it does become more difficult to overcome that fear. Exercise is a perfect example of this. When I had cardiophobia and heart anxiety, I started, to feel my symptoms arise more whenever I would start to exercise. Now, my problem was I wasn't getting the benefits out of exercise because I didn't go harder. I would just kind of ease my way into it, and I would always talk myself out of it. So my chest would start to tighten up a little bit because I was anticipating something bad to happen, like a heart attack. So I was missing out on the full benefits of exercise. So I started basically to tell my subconscious first that this might be a dangerous situation until my subconscious fully believed it. So then every time I would start to exercise, my body would dish out a bunch of symptoms where it could go from something as small as a little bit of chest pain to full-blown panic. And I would always assume that I was having a heart attack or something was wrong with my heart. So I avoided that, and I kept avoiding it, and it got harder and harder as time went on to stand up to that fear, to break down that association. And it wasn't until over 2 years into it that I finally had my breakthrough with exercise. The amazing thing is that we avoid these things, but we don't understand that sometimes it could just take you 1 or 2 times of facing that fear to make it go away completely. And I was lucky with the exercise thing because I was having the panic attack. I was, it was late at night. I thought I was going to die, and I was about to go to the hospital, but I was like, no, tonight's the night. I'm going to see if this is actually a heart problem. So I went out and I aggressively ran. I didn't just work my way into it, so I wouldn't be able to talk myself out of it. So finally, after I was done running for about 10, 12 minutes, my panic and everything was gone, and I didn't have cardiophobia or heart anxiety after that. It was like a miracle. It was like a breakthrough. I was like, I would have died if I was actually having a heart attack. So my fear of just like going out there and doing it, even if my symptoms heightened for a little bit, the avoidance of that was devastating because it kept me from overcoming my heart anxiety and cardiophobia for 2.5 years. And whenever I was done, I was happy, that I didn't think that I had a heart problem anymore. I was like, oh my God, I'm cured of this cardiophobia, at least my heart anxiety. But I was mad because I was like, man, I avoided that forever. And I want you guys to remember this, okay? Some of the things that you're avoiding, those are the things that are going to set you free. In fact, probably all the things that you avoid are going to be the things that escalate your anxiety recovery. It's going to speed the process up. The more you avoid, the longer it drags out. It seems like common sense, but a lot of times we don't think of it like that. Driving anxiety was another one of those. I would avoid driving as much as I could. Obviously, whenever I would have a job, I would have to drive, so I was forced to. But a problem that I had was I would call my mom all the time, or I'd have to pull over all the time. So part of breaking down that association was taking more trips, taking longer trips, practicing exposure. So exposure is a great way to break these associations that have been a problem in your life for years. You don't necessarily have to be all out aggressive, and you can still make gradual improvements. And that's the approach that I took with driving. It was a little bit more difficult than just the exercise where I got the full benefit and I was done with cardiophobia. Driving took me some time to break down. I had horrible symptoms, panic in the car all the time. I always thought I was going to die. And like I said, I would have to pull over, stop at a gas station, call my mom. So I eventually just stopped doing those things. Speeding was another thing that I would do so I could hurry up to get to my destination. Gripping and white knuckling the steering wheel, so I had to start just letting off the tension. So I had a lot of little mini things and habits and behaviors that was associated with my negative association with driving. So I had to break that down over time. But guys, you have to start doing that. If you want to recover, you have to show your subconscious that these things are not dangerous. When you avoid it, what are you saying to your subconscious? You're saying, yes, it is dangerous. Yes, something bad is going to happen if I partake in that, if I go to that that gathering, if I get into the car, if I don't call my mom, if I don't pull over, if I do an interview, something horrible is going to happen. If I get on the phone, or if I have to speak in public, or whatever, if I have to take those vitamins, if I have to exercise, if I have to fly, if I have to go on a vacation or start working again, when you tell your subconscious that, it believes it because it's already wired to negativity and fear for Lord knows how long you've been dealing with anxiety. So every time you tell your subconscious something negative and say that it's dangerous, it believes it 100%. The problem is whenever we try to start telling our subconscious that this isn't a dangerous situation, it doesn't believe you as easily. So that's why breaking down these associations, sometimes it can take time. I got lucky with the exercise that it worked one time. I was able to put 2 and 2 together and realize, oh my God, I don't have a heart problem because I would have died. And that was enough for me. But the driving thing did take much longer. It probably took me a couple months of constant exposure to break that down. And I think some of you guys don't understand how long it takes. So I want you to start embracing being uncomfortable. In fact, if you're still watching this video and you've made it this far, I want you to go down below in the comment section and let's post that positive affirmation. I will embrace being uncomfortable. I will embrace being uncomfortable. It is a must. Once I learned that little trick, I'm talking about my recovery sped up so fast. Anything that made me uncomfortable, that was something that I shouldn't avoid, oh man, I went all in, you know? And in the beginning, like I said, when you do this, you're gonna agitate the subconscious. You're gonna agitate your anxiety. You think that you're keeping yourself safe by staying in this bubble. You're still miserable in this bubble. You realize that, guys. You just don't wanna aggravate your anxiety another 15, 20% by getting outside of your bubble. But it's a must. There is suffering with recovery. I'll say that again. There is suffering with recovery. I suffered during my recovery process. It is a must. Being uncomfortable, not avoiding, not running, there's suffering in that in the beginning. But it's the only way to show our subconscious that we can do it, that this is the new us. Remember, you recover consciously before you recover subconsciously. Super important. That's how it was in my case. That's how it is in most of the people that I've talked to, most of the people that I've coached. They believe and know that they are going to recover before their subconscious is caught up. It starts with embracing being uncomfortable. Again, it can be things like diet. It can be things like mindfulness. If you feel uncomfortable when you have to sit there and sit your symptoms, you got to do more of that. You got to show your subconscious it's not a problem. When it comes to diet, if you feel uncomfortable changing your diet up and eating healthy because you're so used to the comfort food, hang in there, be patient. It gets easier. What you're basically doing is you're developing new habits. And habits take time to develop, right? It takes time. So hang in there. A big part of recovery is being patient. But if you're ready to work, if you're ready to grind, if you're ready to change your perspective on anxiety and the recovery process, if you're ready to be consistent and follow a strategy, a blueprint that I've created, go check out my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp, in the description and in the first pinned comment. Got a great review this morning. I'm gonna be posting that soon. It is changing people's lives, okay? It's changing people's lives. It's gonna show you what I did from the moment I woke up until I went to sleep to help me recover from anxiety 100%. That's right. I don't have panic attacks anymore. I don't have health anxiety anymore. I'm living the life that I deserve. This is real. This is real. It's possible. It just takes time. It takes work. So to get today, again, guys, stop running. Stop avoiding. Embrace being uncomfortable. The description also down below has online therapy. Try that out if you've never tried therapy. All my social medias and Facebook groups are down there. Join all that stuff. Remember to turn notifications on if you have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Be a part of the family. I have tons of videos like this that can help you with your anxiety recovery. All right? Remember to like this video if you got value. And until next time, guys, keep fighting.